about Chris DeMassa with Trademark Express. Chris, how are you?
Very good. Nice to meet you, Chris. Jaclyn, thank you for your time.
Yes.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Trademark Express. Who is Trademark Express and what do you do?
Trademark Express has been around for 32 years. I started Trademark Express in 1992, coming off a 4-year trademark case for my small business. I had to get myself off of the business because I had to change my name. I learned in the process of our case to the value of research, to know if you're legally clear, get the trademark, the value of having a trademark, the ownership. As I expanded into other states, I was getting state trademarks. Someone else got a federal in the middle of my expansion. And as we were going to trial, I found I had to change my name. And when I did, our sales went down about 300,000. And I had to get myself off the payroll fast or start doing everything myself. And no, so I started another business doing research and trademarks. And it's been a wild ride. 32 years, we've seen about everything. We're like the oldest service there is in North America right now. It's amazing.
Wow. So Jaclyn, what do you got?
I love it. Glad to hear it. What do you feel sets you apart from other firms in the area?
We actually do comprehensive legal research where we know the names legally clear. And this didn't used to be such a novelty. Everybody used to do comprehensive research till about 2010. And then these pop-up companies started coming up on the internet. They started just doing applications and dumbing down the whole process. We've stuck to it. We haven't had a refusal in 16 years, since 2008, because we're actually doing the exhaustive research in the like 6,500 databases. We have a network of 12 trademark attorneys to do the analysis correctly. Each step, you have to be clear to go to the next step. And the process is people get their trademarks. It's not, we don't have to be afraid to come to the office, or myself or my 11 employees. We work and it's kind of relaxing actually, because we're actually clearing out things that could block our clients in sound, appearance or meaning, related goods and services, channel distribution. We look at litigious companies, famous names. We look at the whole thing. So when there's the research is spread out, it's much more understood, and we know it's going to go through or not, and they do. That's how it's supposed to work. Nowadays, you have a lot of companies that just are doing applications and they're not doing the research. And even some attorneys are dabbling in trademarks, so they don't really know trademarks as well. And it's quite a spectrum. You can spend anywhere from $49 for the cheapest, least expensive company that's out there, or $6,000 for a trademark attorney at the biggest, one of the bigger firms, where they actually do the research like we do, and their applications go through too. So it's quite a spread. We're in the middle at $800 and $1,200 for one trademark, for about the 10 to 14 hours of time it takes to do a mark. So we're reasonably priced, but we're like Malcolm in the middle. You have to actually look at the different websites, call us, talk to us to understand that we're doing more than most of our competitors.
Chris, I love it.
You seem to be doing great stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, that Malcolm in the middle, that whole saying, you get what you pay for, right? So if you're going to go really cheap, you're probably not going to get a good service. You go really expensive, you probably overpaid for what you got. My question for you as a business owner, and first of all, congratulations on being around for over 30 years. That's, 3 decades is a huge achievement for a business such as yours to be around. So congratulations there. But as a business owner, what's one of your biggest pain points?
And now it's fighting the competition, the misinformation. The people, small business owners don't trust people because they're getting all kinds of different answers. I think there's a trust factor in misinformation. It's almost like our political world almost. But in the business sense, and this wasn't the case. It was a matter of just doing the work, and we were like a day or two faster than our competitors. We're the only company that does step-by-step research to keep the cost down. We've always been the only company that's done that. Those were our big selling points before, but now it's just this fight that we're like the last ones doing comprehensive research that are, unless you go to an attorney. Everyone else is skipping steps to be more competitive, reaching down to compete with the lower price companies at the top of the internet. And about 2/3 of those are foreign companies out of Pakistan and India that are just not, they're scams. Once you get your credit card, it's really a broken system. Enough so, if you don't mind going, I was able to get a meeting with the commissioner of the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office in May in person, because they're concerned about this too. They're getting refusals on 48.2% of their applications because they're getting all these junk applications that have to be reworked by their attorneys, point out what's wrong, what to fix. It's causing them this huge amount of work. And they've soared in attorneys from 400 attorneys in 2010. Now they're up to almost 1,000 attorneys, and they're about to raise their prices because they're getting all these bad applications. It's really, it's a minefield right now, and us staying in business is hard. It's just hard.
Yeah. Hey, Jaclyn, so last question to you before we wrap it up.
Yeah, I feel like you're full of so much amazing knowledge and so many lessons. What is the biggest lesson you've learned over the years?
Just doing things right. Keep it simple. Each step, it's just life is just so much simpler when you just do things the right way. Now, and for trademarks, that's an easy statement because there's that it's broken down. In other worlds like social media marketing, it's a minefield. So what you're doing, I really appreciate getting the word out, because marketing is really, I mean, we're almost becoming a marketing company, which I'd rather be a trademark company, but I think every company's got to embrace the marketing part of it. And when you do, then you realize how important the name is, because you never ever want to have to change your name because you're putting too much into it in social media and advertising and everything else. The name has got to be anchored and owned by getting a trademark and broadened in rights and sound, appearance, and meaning. When you do get a trademark, it broadens your rights and makes it much easier to defend and keeps anybody from cease and desisting you. But you're putting so much more in the name nowadays with the way social media is and advertising is just so expensive for everybody.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Well said, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, Jaclyn knows she's in the marketing media space, so she's an expert in that area. So, hey, Chris, question for you: how do folks find Trademark Express?
We are on the search engines. We're active on LinkedIn, and we're redoing our website again, yet again, to straighten it out. I hired a big company last week to straighten it out. So we have the foundation down, and then we should be on YouTube. We should have been there years ago, and we just haven't had the wherewithal to figure that out. But we're severely lagging in some areas. Other areas we're ahead. We're still the only company to have a live Zoom link at the top of our website. So
okay, great. So people can go Google Trademark Express to go find you. Obviously, they can find you on LinkedIn. We appreciate you coming on. Thanks to my co-host Jaclyn Baker. I appreciate you coming on and joining us here today.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Chris, we love spreading the word and talking to folks. I got a friend that's is a patent and trademark lawyer down here in Jacksonville, Florida. And he's kind of repeated what you stated. This can really derail a company if you are in a trademark dispute or your patent is being disputed by other folks that are in this space. And with the, how the internet has taken off and the proliferation of, artificial intelligence and search engines, and then large language models and everything else, boy, this is going to be a cluttered yet interesting space for the collective us to work in the future, both in marketing, TV, and then in trademark. So, hey guys, thanks a lot for joining me today in Finding Our Frequency. Hey folks, if you like what you heard, take a look at look at the show notes. We're going to put our links in there for Trademark Express. Follow Jaclyn Baker, Chris DeMassa, and me, Chris Budihas, on LinkedIn. We love to connect with you. What we like to do is please share us if you like what you heard, and we'll see you in our next segment. Live with gratitude.